Welkin Lei is 30 years old, lives in the heart of Beijing, and lately, he's been doing some very strange math. Most people use their spare time for hobbies, but Welkin spends his sitting at his kitchen table with a pen and a napkin, staring at numbers that just won't add up. He and his wife have one 3-year-old son. They'd love to have a second. But when Welkin looks at the napkin, he sees a trap. You see, both Welkin and his wife are only children, products of a law that governed China for decades. This means that in a few years, it won't just be them and their son. It will be them, their son, and for aging parents who have no other children to help them. Welkin realized that no matter how much he saves, he isn't just buying diapers, he is eventually going to have to buy the labor of someone else's child just to keep his parents alive. And in a country of 1.4 billion people, those other children are starting to vanish. To understand why Welkin is so stressed, you have to go back to 1980. At that time, the Chinese government looked at its exploding population and panicked. They were terrified the country would literally run out of food, so they enacted the one-child policy. For the next 35 years, this wasn't just a suggestion. It was a ruthless, state-enforced machine. There were murals on every street corner showing happy parents with one perfect child. But behind the scenes, there was a vast government apparatus monitoring women's cycles, imposing massive fines for excess births and, in many dark cases, carrying out forced abortions and sterilizations. The goal was to get rich before the country got old, but they did their job too well. They created a generation of siblingless children, and now, 10 years after that policy was officially scrapped, the government has realized they made a catastrophic mistake. Fast forward to today, the tone in Beijing has shifted so fast it'll give you whiplash. The same government that used to punish you for having a baby is now practically begging you to have 3. They've started offering tax breaks. They're giving out $500 cash bonuses. They're even making preschool free in some places. But here's the strange and dark part. As of January 1st, 2026, the government started charging a value-added tax on condoms and birth control pills. They are literally making it more expensive to not have a baby. Women have even reported getting cold calls from community workers, government officials asking them over the phone when they plan on getting pregnant. It's a complete 180-degree turn, but for people like me, a mother in Shanghai, these incentives feel like a drop in the bucket. She says the cost of living is so high that a small cash bonus doesn't spark a desire for a baby. It just highlights how expensive the baby actually is. But there's a deeper reason why the cradles are empty. It's a feeling of disenchantment. During the strict lockdowns of the pandemic, a video went viral that captured the soul of a generation. A young man in Shanghai was arguing with police who were threatening his family. He looked them dead in the eye and said, "We are the last generation." It became a rallying cry for young people like 27-year-old Joe, an engineer who still has to rely on his parents to pay his bills. The idea of bringing a child into this economy is terrifying. Youth unemployment is at record highs. The competition is so fierce that people are choosing to lie flat rather than join the rat race. And for women, the stakes are even higher. A master's student named Yu told reporters she wants to live for herself, not just to be a cog in a demographic machine. She is rejecting the gender norms that expect Chinese women to work full-time while also managing the grueling education of a child in a hyper-competitive system. The math for China's future is, frankly, haunting. Right now, 1 out of every 5 people in China is over the age of 60. By the year 2100, if things don't change, UN projections suggest that half the population could be over 60. Imagine a country where every other person you pass is a retiree, who works the factories, who patrols the borders, who pays the taxes to keep the hospitals running. The government is trying a high-tech Hail Mary, robots. They are racing to automate their factories, hoping that AI and machines can replace the millions of workers they've lost. They're also raising the retirement age, forcing people to work longer because there simply isn't anyone to replace them. But experts are skeptical. If they had changed the policy 20 years ago, it might have worked. Now, the drop is likely irreversible at the end of the day. This isn't just about GDP or military power, it's about the human heart. Song Min is 57. She lived her entire life under the one-child policy. She did what she was told. She had one daughter. But now, looking back at a life shaped by state mandates, she feels a profound sense of regret. She realizes now that she would have loved to have multiple children, not because the government wanted her to, but because she wanted the noise, the chaos, and the love of a big family. The tragedy of China as demographic crisis is that they spent 35 years teaching their citizens that one child was the only way to live. They succeeded. And now, no matter how many bonuses they offer or how much they tax condoms, they are finding out that you can't just flip a switch on the human soul. If you found this story about the strange and unfolding future of China as last generation interesting, please hit the like button.